Hello, La Pluma students, and welcome to this week's art lesson. We are going to be drawing this pumpkin based on the art of Yayoi Kusama. She is a Japanese artist, and I'd like you to watch this little video of her and some of her artwork. Okay, so as you can see, Yayoi is a very interesting person. She is still alive. She's 91 years old. She absolutely loves polka dots, and she also really loves pumpkins. And here's what she has to say about polka dots. She says, "A polka dot has the form of the sun and also the moon. Round, soft, colorful, senseless, and unknowing. Polka dots become movement. Polka dots are a way to infinity." So she really, really likes polka dots, and you can see we're going to be using a lot of them in our art this week. And then she also loved pumpkins growing up. She grew up on a plant nursery where her parents grew a lot of different plants, and pumpkins were her favorite, and she kind of sees the pumpkin as being a self-portrait, or kind of like herself. All right, let's get started on our project. We are going to start with this center oval of the pumpkin, and I'm going to use a Sharpie so that you can see it on the video, but you're welcome to use a pencil or a marker or a crayon, whatever works for you. So I am going to do an oval that is just a little bit pointier at the bottom. It almost looks like a candy corn, if you've ever seen those. They're kind of like orange at the top and then white in the middle and then yellow at the tip. Very Halloween-ish or October. And then from there, I'm gonna do a backwards letter C to make the next section of the pumpkin. And by the way, every pumpkin is so different. And some are really tall and skinny, and some are really short and wide, and so you cannot make any mistakes with a pumpkin. It is fine if your pumpkin does not look like mine, because all pumpkins are different. I'm going to add another section here. I'm going to do another backwards letter C. That one was a little bit skinnier. Now I'm going to go to the other side of the pumpkin, and I'm going to add some letter C's over here. So here's my first letter C, and now one more letter C. And so now I have the basic shape of my pumpkin. I'm going to do a stem in the middle, which is just like a curved line, straight line, and then another slightly curved line. And I'm going to do two little parts behind, almost like little hills or like sad faces behind the pumpkin, to show that it's three-dimensional, that it continues around the back. It's not just a flat pumpkin. Okay, there's the shape of my pumpkin. I think it looks great, and I'm ready. I'm going to do a little bit of the background right now. Yayoi Kusama loves mirrors, and she loves repetition. So she'll use mirrors upon mirrors upon mirrors to get multiple reflections going over and over again. And I felt like these diagonal lines that I'm drawing now kind of almost looked like maybe mirrors reflecting the polka dots. So I'm just going to go around the pumpkin and do just some diagonal lines here and there to kind of divide up the background space. Doesn't really matter where you put them or how many you do. We just want to have kind of that image or that feeling of reflection in the background. Okay, I'm happy with how that looks. I think it looks great. Now I'm ready to start on my polka dots. And I am going to do different sized polka dots. When you watched the video of Yayoi Kusama's art, you might have noticed that she uses lots of different sizes of polka dots on her pumpkins. So I'm going to start with big polka dots, kind of in the center of each part of my pumpkin. Big polka dots going straight down. And then to the sides of that, I'm going to do kind of medium size. And they don't have to be in perfectly straight lines if you don't want them to be. And they don't even actually have to be the same size as mine. You can do different sizes in different orders if you'd like to. Okay. And now, past the medium, I'm going to do just a slightly smaller polka dot, a column of polka dots that are just a little bit smaller. And then around this edge, I'm just going to do dots, which are basically just really small polka dots. I'm just using the tip of my pen to make a dot. I feel like there's some white space, so I'm just going to add a few more polka dots and not worry too much about their size. They're a little bit bigger than these guys, which is fine. Okay, I think that looks great. I'm happy. Okay, now I'm going to continue to do the polka dots in each of these other sections. I'm going to start each section with the large polka dots. And as I'm doing this section, I'm going to curve my polka dots to match the curve of the pumpkin. This front of the pumpkin is more like straight because we're looking at it straight on. But now we want to show curve. So I'm making my polka dots kind of follow this outer curve of this section. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Curve, but I'm going to curve the other way to match this outer curve of my pumpkin. Okay, that looks great. Now I'm going to add, just like I did in the middle, I'm going to add some smaller dots, but instead of doing straight lines, I'm curving with the curve of that part of the pumpkin. Still following the same curve. I'm kind of going, I just noticed that I was going in between my dots to do my next section of dots. You don't have to do it that way, that's just the way that I was doing it without even really thinking about it. Doesn't have to alternate spaces like that. Okay, now I'm going to just add some smaller dots around the edge. Do the same thing over here. Okay, and I think I need to add just a few more dots to fill in some of this white space because I really want it to look like infinite polka dots or never-ending polka dots, just polka dots on polka dots on polka dots. Okay, I'm going to keep working on the other sections of my pumpkin while you work on them on your artwork. All right, I have filled in all the sections of my pumpkin with polka dots of all different sizes. Now I'm going to do my stem. I'm just going to do 3 medium-sized polka dots and then some little dots going around. And now I'm ready to work on my background. And with the background, I'm going to do circles that aren't filled in. So basically, white polka dots instead of black polka dots. sometimes Yayoi would use different colors of polka dots or different layers. And so I think this kind of gives that illusion of the reflection or the repetition, but without being exact. I'm just going all around my background to put these white circles or white polka dots in each section. And just add a couple more here and there if it looks kind of empty. All right, and I'm kind of actually liking the way that looks. On my sample, I did more dots, and I did some larger polka dots too, and you're welcome to add that in if you like that, but I'm kind of liking it simpler this time with just the circles. I'm going to add in a few more since I'm not going to be doing all the little dots. Either way that you would like to do it is just fine. All right, I think I'm almost done with my background. Feel good about it. Okay, now we're ready to color, and I'm going to be using orange and yellow, maybe a little bit of red and green for my stem. If you'd like to, you can also color your background, which would look really cool. And I might do that on this one. I didn't do it on the sample, but I might do it on this one, but leave my polka dots white. I don't know, I'll have to think about that when I get closer. So right now the stem is going to be green, but you can do your stem any color you want to. You probably noticed Yayoi's hair is usually different colors, not a typical hair color, and so she likes wild colors and wild ideas and things that aren't in the ordinary. So if you want to do your pumpkin a different color, well, your stem a different color, or even your pumpkin section a different color, feel free. You can do it any color you want to. You probably remember from the past that I really like to layer color. If you're using colored pencils or crayons, this part is really fun to layer. If you're using markers, it's a little bit trickier to layer. But if we had oil pastels, and if you wanted to use oil pastels on this, you totally could if you had them at your house. They work probably the best for blending. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break so I can sharpen my orange pencil since it's kind of flat, and then I'm going to finish coloring the orange. All right, my pumpkin is filled in with orange, and I'm going to go back over the top of my orange with a little touch of yellow. Show more depth and interest, because pumpkins aren't just one solid color, especially when the light's shining on them. Different parts of the pumpkin get more sun as it's growing, so some parts might be oranger and some might be yellower, so we want that to look a little bit more realistic. So just adding a little touch of yellow to highlight. Okay, and I didn't do this on the sample, but I want to go this time, and I'm going to add just a little bit of red right on the black lines that separate the sections. And that's just kind of to show shadow, to show that there's like less light in those parts. Oops, kind of went out the side of the line side, but that's okay. A little bit over here. Okay. All right, I'm ready to start my background now, and I had an idea. I think what I'm going to do is color the background black, and then can you guess what I'm going to do for the polka dots? I am going to color them orange, because I want to do a reversal of this. So in this, the background is orange and the polka dots are black, And for the background, I'm going to reverse it because I thought it might be an interesting repetition with a twist. So I'm going to do all my background sections black. And then I'm going to fill in the circles with orange. They almost look like little pumpkins. This might take a little time, so I'm going to pause the video. Alright, I am almost done coloring in my background, black, and then coloring in the polka dots orange. And I think it looks really cool. And I think that Yayoi would be proud of it. I think she would like it if she got a chance to see it. But I'm sure she's busy and she probably doesn't have time to look at my artwork, but that's okay. Alright, filling in these last couple of orange dots, and there we go. There is a polka dot pumpkin inspired by Yayoi Kusama. And I hope you guys have a great week, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.